Hello, world. My name is Anthony Kennedy, and I am here to talk today about toxic shame and childhood trauma. Yes, why do I feel the need to talk about this? Because it has affected my life. At the time of this recording, I am 44 years old, and I am only now, at this age, waking up from from toxic shame and the effects of trauma at an early age. And it's not just me. There's a ton of people now making material about this stuff, and thank God, because there is a desperate need for it. Awareness needs to be raised about this because there's too many people who are suffering in silence, and it doesn't need to be this way. People can be talking and healing, helping each other heal. And that's the reason I'm talking now, is because other people, thank God for the internet, for YouTube, people are talking. And I know I say a lot right now, but whatever. I'll get better. I'm just getting started at this stuff. I've been a person who never really spoke. I've always been that person who's always kind of quiet, that's kind of in the corner. Always. I never, even from a very young age, from kindergarten, in fact, I just couldn't connect with the other kids, and this is not normal. And I've basically been like kind of that, it's not absolute, but I've always been that kind of not very social kind of person, more of a loner, not an absolute loner, thank God, but yeah, it's just been my ability to relate to people has been impaired because of trauma and the toxic shame that it caused. So what is toxic shame? It's a feeling that I'll speak for myself, but also I've already heard other people speak like this. I feel that I'm not good enough. I just fundamentally flawed, really just fundamentally flawed. There's something just wrong with me. And this is the effects that trauma. This is the horror that trauma is, because when we feel that we're fundamentally flawed, that we're just not good enough, it affects every aspect of our life, every single aspect, and the most down to our very health itself. And at 44, boy, I'm beginning to feel things in my health that I did not feel before. And it's just like, hey, this is also motivating me to, I want to live and enjoy my life, as, I feel like really, I'm just waking up at 44. And everything before this has been like a preparation or whatever, just to get me here. Now that's what I'm saying. I feel that I'm the life I've lived uniquely qualifies me, because there's a lot of it uniquely qualifies me because I've got 44 years experience in toxic shame and trauma and ton of dysfunction, failed relationship after failed relationship after failed relationship, because from the abuse I received when I was a child, physical and psychological, it caused me to freeze, literally at a very, very young age. I froze. It was too much. It was just too much. In order to survive, I shut down. I blocked off access to my emotions in my heart to protect myself. So I made that subconscious association that being closed and frozen is equal to safety. And I didn't know I had done that, but thank God again for people speaking and making me aware that this is what I've done. And it was like, when they heard these things, it was just like, yeah, there's a fabulous video. I don't have the man's name, but he's a yoga instructor. I'll put the link in the description, because he deserves, just listening to him helped me wake up, and listening to other people as well. TED Talks, other people, Lisa Romano. Oh my God, Lisa Romano, thank you so much. She's been a huge help for me. But my intention is to keep talking about this and to keep generating content about this, because we need this now. The world needs people. There's I've heard a statistic that up to 66% of the population is walking around in toxic shame. That's billions of people feeling that they're not good enough, that they're feeling that they're fundamentally flawed, and a lot of them, when it's taken to the extreme, become suicidal, and enough of them do kill themselves. And I'll admit right here, the thought has crossed my mind more than once. But it was, I never did, thank God. But it's like, in those dark moments when you just feel like, well, why am I even here? Like, I don't fit in anywhere. And just, I can't connect with people. It's just not working for me. Life is just not working for me. I just don't feel right. But I didn't know why. I couldn't put words to it. I knew it had to be from the crap that happened as when I was a child. But I was like, I don't know. Well, what do I do with that now? It's like, anyway, blah blah blah. The world needs people to talk about this. I heard a beautiful TED talk just minutes ago, and the woman in the talk, a British woman, was saying 40 years ago, the big taboo was it was, what did they call it? The big C. They used to call cancer 40 years ago the big C, and it's, you don't speak about it. If someone has it, it's just like, ooh, it was like a hush hush, almost like a taboo. It happens, you just keep quiet about it. Keeps, And now when we hear people have cancer, we're much more like supportive, and we're just, it's okay to talk about cancer, but like childhood trauma, toxic shame, it's still something that it's taboo. It makes people uncomfortable, and it's like, no, it's there's too many people suffering from this to stay quiet now, and we need to speak about it. These people like me, who are walking around, who have been walking around feeling frozen, like really, we're walking around like ice cubes, and we can't connect to ourselves and to other people, and it's just it makes life really, really, Jesus Christ, not fun. And yeah, it's time to talk, and this is just my first intro to the world, saying yes, I'm a person who has suffered for 44 years, but thank God I'm waking up from that because people are talking, and it's okay, and I'm beginning to see, oh yeah, I'm see now why I've always put myself as in the back seat. I never really spoke. I never gave myself a voice because I thought I didn't have a voice. For me, I never had a voice. I was just frozen. I was just frozen. I was like, I'm not allowed. That's not allowed for me. I'm not allowed to have a voice. I'm not allowed to speak. I'm not allowed. That's been my whole thing. So now it's like, no. That's just the trauma. The little kid had to freeze to survive. So yeah, you can't speak when you're frozen. You can't do anything when you're frozen because and I equated that with safety. Cha. I'm not gonna stop. I just really want to connect with other people who are suffering from this, who have been suffering from this, and it's time for us to come together. Cheesy as that sounds, but it is. We need this. The world needs this now. There's too many of us, and it's too painful. Cheers.